Hello, when I was a kid, I remade Harry Potter.
That's totally barbaric. That's wizard's chess.
In the late 90s, a totally not problematic author called J.K. Rowling wrote a series of fantasy novels called Harry Potter. The films were hailed as an incredible— The books are better, what? Can't you read? Okay, let's get this out of the way now. They're different mediums entirely. There's no point comparing them. Granted, the books really do flesh out the wizarding world with fantastic details such as Uncle Vernon was a Brexiter, Dumbledore was into BDSM, and wizards literally shat themselves. David Heyman, a British producer, snapped up the rights for £1 million. They cycled through a lot of directors initially. Steven Spielberg wanted to do an animated version with Haley Joel Osment playing the voice of Harry. So why didn't he take the opportunity? Because he thought it would be too damn easy. He commented that it would be like shooting ducks in a barrel, a slam dunk, and would be like withdrawing $1 billion and personally putting it into his bank account. I've heard of shooting fish in a barrel, but what's Spielberg doing putting ducks in a barrel? The RSPCA should definitely get on that. Despite his big dick energy, Spielberg didn't get the job. M. Night Shyamalan actually came very close to landing the gig. Presumably, his version would have had a twist ending where Harry wakes up from a coma and realises he just imagined the whole thing. The universe really wanted Haley Joel Osment as Harry Potter.
I see dead people.
Christopher Columbus was eventually selected as the director. He had a track record of directing family hits such as Home Alone, which actually launched the careers of child stars such as Donald J. Trump.
Down the hall and to the left.
He's gone on to do some pretty big things.
I don't know what I said,
J.K. Rowling wanted to keep the cast strictly British. Sounds a bit Uncle Vernon-y to me.
I've reached my limit, you hear?
A young Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson and Rupert Grint were selected for the main trio.
Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Sorcerer's Stone. The what?
The UK child labour laws were apparently changed before production so that they could shoot for longer each day. They kept that awful quiet. Radcliffe was originally supposed to be wearing contact lenses to turn his eye colour to green, because J.K. Rowling is a stickler for the details. They apparently caused Radcliffe severe irritation, so J.K. Rowling graciously decided, oh, you know what, maybe it doesn't matter so much.
You know, the very first time I saw you, Harry, I recognised you immediately. Not by your scar, by your eyes. They're your mother, Lily's.
Liar! We're already bending child labour laws. Let's try and reduce the amount of physical pain they endure. They use lots of famous UK locations such as Alnwick Castle, Harrow School, Durham Cathedral. You can plan a wicked road trip of Harry Potter locations. Picket Post Close probably won't be top of your list, but that's where they shot the Privet Drive scenes. They planned to film for just a single day, but production ran into 2 and the locals were not happy. Quick industry tip, if you ever see a film being shot near your house, go over to the crew and make a big hullabaloo saying you're furious about the whole thing.
I've reached my limit, you hear?
Most crew members should be carrying petty cash to just pay you off. It's very lucrative. John Williams was hired to write the score, but as the YouTuber Sideways points out, he was also working on Star Wars at the same time. Somewhere along the line, some sheet music must have got muddled up, resulting in this. On the third film, Christopher Columbus stepped away as director, saying that he hadn't actually had dinner with his own kids for over 2 years. Enter Alfonso Cuarón, who starts off by giving the kids a bunch of homework. He asked each member of the trio to write an essay about their character's backstory. Emma's was 10 pages long, Dan's was about 2, and Rupert didn't do it. He claimed that's because, well, Ron wouldn't have done it. That's a much better excuse than, oh, Fluffy ate my homework. Prisoner of Azkaban had a much darker tone and paved the way for the entries ahead. Film number 4 was helmed by Mike Newell, the director of 4 Weddings and a Funeral. This film tends to receive the most flack for cutting things out of the book, although granted, the book itself is 636 pages long. The screenwriter Steve Clovers tried to split the book into 2, but never found a way of doing it. Or at least not until... The rest of the films in the series were then directed by David Yates. Under his watch, the visual style of the films became consistent and beautifully bleak. Personally, I think The Half-Blood Prince has the most beautiful cinematography of the whole series. The director of photography, Bruno Del Bonnen, says that he was going for a very European look to the film. Oh, someone's not going to be very happy with that.
This is the last I'm going to take of you and your nonsense.
The final film in the series was released in 2011 and brought the entire saga to a nice, neat ending. Until... I've always felt like the success of the series was down to this fantastical setting, but also following characters going through normal teenage adolescent experiences, such as awkward first kisses, doing drugs with your mates, slaughtering a giant snake monster. I don't know about you, that's how I spent my youth. And it's not well known, but I actually made my own Harry Potter series. So let's take a look at my first entry from 2011, titled Wand Brothers. I think the inclusion of my school uniform and messy kitchen in the background really rivals the set design and costumes of the Harry Potter films. Oh, and equally the VFX too. The blocking of the characters isn't particularly energetic, but it isn't exactly dramatic in the films either. And as per usual, I kill my brother. Well, that was short and sweet. Let's see if the sequel's any better.
We're watching Rio.
We're watching Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball.
Now that is the conflict of the century. I believe it was the same disagreement that turned Dumbledore and Grindelwald against each other.
Expelliarmus! Protego!
Right, I'm being completely serious now. The VFX is much better. Maybe still not great, but...
Stupefy.
Reductor!
It looks like you're having some wand issues there, Jack.
Look at my wand.
Facius Dysplasius!
Whilst the special effect isn't particularly well realised, I do think Facius Dysplasius is a kind of cool idea for a spell.
Stupefy.
Expelliarmus!
And of course, wouldn't be a Sam Hartshorn film without some child murder. So, highlight, Facius Dysplasius. Low light, I think the inciting incident needs work. And cancel factor, well, it's based on Harry Potter, which has transphobic undertones, so, public apology. And there we have it. If you want to see the original films, links are in the description below. Like and subscribe, tell your friends, foes and families. Toodaloo!
I'll fight you. Neville, I'm really, really sorry about this. Trificus Totalis.
Harry Potter, you have allowed your friends to die rather than face yourself.
Harry, you can't win this battle on your own. You just can't.
I have something worth living for.